Hi, my name is Zahara Al Nasser, and I am the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Coordinator for United Way of Utah County. Today I'm going to be going over how to get all set up on My Free Taxes. So, My Free Taxes is a completely free tax filing tool that you can use if you feel more comfortable filing your taxes on your own, or if you're just wanting to learn how to do it by yourself. This is a great option for that. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, the first thing you're going to do is type myfreetaxes.com in the search bar, and it'll take you to this page. If you are a Spanish speaker who prefers to be guided in Spanish, then there is an option to do that here in the top right corner. So, it's going to ask you how you would like to file your taxes. The by myself option is what we're going to do because it's going to take you to the My Free Taxes um, process. If you click with assistance, then it'll just try and connect you with a VITA site where you'll have to meet with an actual tax preparer to figure out your taxes. So this can be good if you're still wanting to meet with somebody one-on-one, although it might take a little bit longer to do that. If you're not sure, then it'll just ask you a few questions so you can figure that out. But we're going to click by myself. And then it'll take you to this page where you'll be asked a few questions. If you earned less than $73,000 a year in 2021, then you do qualify to use My Free Taxes. If you earn a little bit more than that, then it'll help you figure out what other services you can qualify for. Also, this number is per household. The zip code is just so we can track how many users are using My Free Taxes per region. And the number of users helps us gain funding for our free services, our free tax filing program every year. So we want to make sure that we fill that out. Say that we're in Provo, not a resident of Puerto Rico. If you would like more information about other services that we offer at United Way, then you can select this option here. If not, then you'll click File Now. It'll take you to this sort of buffering page. You will be automatically redirected to the software, or you can just click File Now. And so here's the Tax Slayer kiosk. Tax Slayer is the actual software that we use. So you're going to click Continue. And then it'll take you to the login page. So you're going to want to create an account because if you ever need to stop what you're doing and come back to your tax preparation, then you'll be able to sign in and sign out, and it'll save all of your information. So that's one thing. And then, so I already created an account here, so you won't be able to see sort of the steps, but you are going to need your name, email, phone number, all of that information when you're creating your account. And another thing to know too is that when you finish creating your account, you and your spouse, if you're filing jointly, are going to be asked to sign a disclosure agreement, which essentially says your information may be used to detect fraud, and if an external service is required to finish your return. And that information will be used to recommend another service. So you'll sign that agreement, and then it'll take you to the page, and then it might also ask you to do these security questions. And then, so this is the home page. As I mentioned before, I've created an account already and sort of have been fiddling around. So some of the questions I've skipped through already. But another thing to know is that the first time you do come to the login or the home page, um, you will have the opportunity to scan in your uh, previous year's tax return. So if you have that option available, if you have a scanner and are able to scan that in, then you'll be able to sort of autofill the information that the software is going to ask you. So if you don't have your previous year's returns or if you don't have a scanner, no problem. That's just sort of a something to make it a little bit easier, but um, you'll be able to fill in that information manually either way. So we're going to click continue because the first thing it's going to ask you is your information, basic information. So you're going to fill that out. Each individual sort of tabs are going to ask you specific things. These little question marks are really helpful because they walk you through everything that you need to know about these particular topics. If you ever are skeptical about anything, it's nice to be able to just be filled in a little bit more. So kind of jumping ahead of myself, but let's go ahead and just fill out personal information. The personal information tab is going to ask you your general information, just your name, your social security number, and I believe, okay, yeah, and your date of birth. So obviously not entering my real social security number, so I'm just going to hit cancel, but once you are finished with this, you will click continue. And then it'll take you to your mailing address where you will put in all of your information about your address. You're going to want to make sure that this is accurate and up to date because if you are receiving a check from the IRS, your return in a check form, then they're going to send it to whatever address you put in. So if you know you're going to be moving soon or you have a permanent address, you're going to want to make sure that's accurate. And then they'll ask you for your phone number. And again, you're going to want to make sure that is accurate too. So once we're done with that, it'll take you to your filing status. So your filing status can be kind of complicated depending on your situation. So that little question mark next to filing status is going to be helpful. So just for sake of ease, I'm going to say single. And then you'll click continue. And then your dependents, again, can be kind of complicated. So you're going to maybe want to read through if you're unsure about who you can qualify or who you can claim as a dependent. You're going to put in their first name, last name, date of birth. You're going to need their social security number or their ITN or ATIN. It'll ask you for your relationship to them, the number of months they lived with you, and then a few additional questions down here. And again, these little blue question marks are going to be helpful in helping you figure out all that information. Now, it's not letting me go because I didn't put any other information in, but once you're done with that, you'll be directed to the next part. So this is the part where you can actually start putting in your tax forms. If you feel very comfortable with the forms you have, for instance, if you know you only have a couple W-2s, then you can just select your own forms from a list. You can type in W-2 and then it'll pull up the W-2 form and then you can just fill it in. If you're a little bit unsure about what to do, then you can click the I want to be guided option. So this will be nice if you're not sure about what forms you have or where the information is supposed to go in. So we will go to the want to be guided option just to test that out and see what it looks like. So you'll say, if you have any W-2s, again, question mark will help you figure that out. So you can, we'll say no for now, just so you can see what it looks like. If you have a 1099-G, again, I'm just clicking no so you can see what all the questions look like, but you will of course say yes if you have those forms. You'll need to know if you received a state or local tax refund for the year of 2020. Click yes or no. This question mark will help. Any 1099 INTs, any other 1099s you might have, you'll click continue. Retirement forms. All of these forms you should have received in the mail by now. So if you know you're missing a form, then you'll want to contact your previous employer to make sure that they send that out to you. Any Social Security information, 1099 miscellaneous. So as you're going through these questions, just be thinking about what forms you know you do have. Sometimes you might get a form you didn't know you had, so you might want to make sure you're putting everything in. Any stocks, bonds, personal property, we can help you figure that out. Any additional income, you can just check through this list of things that you might have received as income. So that is how the guided sort of income portion works. So the next part is you're going to go through your deductions, and you can select your own deductions or you can be guided. So we're going to select that so you can see what it looks like. So these are different deductions that you can qualify for if you have child and dependent care costs, if you believe that you qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit or any adoption expenses. So if you think you qualify for one of these, then you can select yes. If not, then you'll continue. Any home and property ownership, mortgages, real estate taxes, just go down that list and see what you may qualify for there. If not, continue. Any charitable contributions. So these, I know several people will donate to local charities or their religious organizations. You can take the standard deduction this year and still deduct up to $300 if you're filing single, or $600 if you're married. So if you know for a fact that you did make a charitable contribution, you're going to want to have that tax receipt with you, and click yes there. Any medical expenses, so this can be your HSA account, MSA, medical and dental, health insurance, anything like that. This will be good if you had any expenses. You might be able to qualify for some credits there. Education expenses will be good for those who are students and who might have some tuition or scholarships or anything like that that they might be able to receive money back with. So again, if you're a student, I would take a look at that. car and personal property, any job-related expenses. If you're a teacher, then and you did spend your own money on any supplies, you can actually have that deducted from your taxes. So you might want to look at that, of course, and any of these other options too. Any other various tax payments, you'll go through that. Any retirement investments, if you have an IRA deduction, retirement savings contribution credit. Um, Again, take a look at your forms and you'll be able to decipher any other deductions there. Yes. Any casualties and losses due to a federally declared disaster. Um, Here's a little bit more about that. If you are elderly or disabled, then you do qualify for credit there, so take a look at that. Any alimony paid. Here's just more information that you're going to want to look through for any other deductions that you might want to take. So any other adjustments there. We'll cancel that. Early withdrawal penalties. Say no. Any miscellaneous deductions there? Schedule A, we'll say no. Okay, and then that's the end of the deduction section, so you're gonna click continue, and then it'll take you to any other taxes that you might have. Another really nifty tool that you might want to look through is if you know that you have an additional form and that didn't come up in the menu, you can always click help and support, and you can type in the form if you, for instance, said, oh, I forgot to put in my 1099 INT interest, then you can go there. You can also look up articles where these forms are explained. So that's really helpful if you're unsure about any forms. Another thing you can do is go down to Toolbox. And if you click Quick File, then you can add your forms quickly. So again, if you need a 1099 or a 1098, whatever form it is, you can easily search it and then select it, and then you can click continue. It'll take you to that form. So I'm just going to clear that. So at this point, you can go back to the federal section and just go through all of these tabs and make sure that you have gone through all of the different options there are. And if you don't have anything else to go through, then you can sort of just click through any miscellaneous forms. You will most likely know what forms you need to put in, and if not, then there's always help here. There's the help and support option. Now the COVID-19 relief option, that is going to be important for you to know about. The third stimulus payment did was distributed last year, I believe in March. And so you are going to want to make sure you input how much you received and when you received it. So the IRS sent out a letter last year with that information. And if you don't have that letter, then you can look through your bank statement and see if you received that. So just want to make that clear. Here's the Affordable Act insurance plan option, also known as the Health Insurance Marketplace tab. So you're going to, if you do have a 1095A, then you're going to fill that out. So now we're done with the federal section. You're going to get started on the state. Choose your state, and we are in Utah, so we'll go through that. It'll ask you to choose what kind of resident you are. So again, I'll just say I'm a resident, but of course you'll go through and look through that. And a lot of the information from your federal return will be transmitted to the state return, so there might not be very much for you to put in there. And it seems like it's taking in a minute, but probably because we didn't put any information here. So we'll just go back to the state return. Again, we'll go through the same process. I'm going to skip it for now. And then when you're done, it'll calculate your 1040, which is your summary of your tax return. Because I didn't put anything in, there won't be anything to calculate. So this is the summary print option right here on the side. And then when you're all done, you can click e-file just here on the left-hand corner. Oh, let's go back to e-file. Oh, I think it's wanting my information, so let's hope that works. I don't think so. Well, so the e-file section is just the option that you have to transmit your return electronically. So if you have any issues, for instance, with dependents, or there's for some reason a need for you to file your return through paper, then you will have that option to print your return and then send it in to the IRS. But if you don't have any issues like that, then it's highly recommended to e-file your return, because you'll be able to get that information quicker to the IRS, and then you'll get your refund quicker. So yeah, when you're all done, let's go back to the home page. Once you go through the e-file sort of questions, it'll ask you for your bank account info. In case you do have a refund, then that info will get transmitted to your account. If you have to pay, then for the same reason, you'll be able to fill out that option. So again, if you need to stop at any point, you can always save and log out. And it'll save all your information that you've put in, so you'll be able to come back in and just start right where you left off, and you'll just hit continue and it'll take you through. So that is it for our My Free Taxes tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns about the software, please don't hesitate to contact me. Again, my name is Zahara, and feel free to reach out to me through email or through the 211 hotline. Thank you so much for your participation.